Welcome back to the Pit Stop Ranch. This video, we go to the MOONEYES New Year's Party 2023, second annual event of this type. And here we are opening with driving the Pale Horse on the Irwindale Oval at the Irwindale Speedway in Irwindale, California, where the event was located at. This is the overflow parking for the overflow parking, because this is an incredibly big and popular event with everybody. There was lots and lots of people, and we were concerned whether we were going to be able to get in or not. We happened to look out and get in, and let's get on with the video. Very representative of the Southern California car scene. We have here a project car. I won't even guess what it is. I think it could be a Mercury. It could be just about any late 40s, early 50s chop top custom. Cool. I dig it. I would probably run this. I mean, obviously, I'd probably daily drive it the way it is, and then just casually, slowly, generally fix it up, add some more. And here we have a Valiant with the all-loved Leaning Tower of Power, the Slant 6. It's actually kind of cool seeing these cars with the Slant 6 as opposed to a big block 440 or something. You know, everyone does their thing, but it's cool. Very large and good showing of air-cooled VWs throughout the show. Here's just a few of them. It's one thing about all of these Southern California events, the car clubs, local car clubs, always make a really good showing, and they turn it. I think they really add to the party environment, the party atmosphere, and it's something that I imagine it's similar in other markets, but having not been to too many car shows outside of Southern California, it's a lot of fun. As a result, there's a lot of everyone's playing their own music, and that's something that I got to be careful as a creator, or I'll get a copyright hit. That some of that music will bleed in, and I'll have to edit it out. Anyways, here's a cool shoebox, a Ford. I dig these. Here's a convertible Buick. Not sure. I think it's a Skylark. Very cool car. Nice gentleman right there getting into the trunk is the owner of it. Little rough in some areas, but overall a really cool car. Here's a really cool, it's a 34, I think it's a 34 Ford pickup with a small block Chevy in it. It has kind of the typical small block Chevy put in it, but it's interesting how they did it with the 4 2-barrels staggered like that, and then you got a small diameter distributor. So the MSD distributor, I would have probably gotten rid of the distributor. I mean, the MSD thing on it, and just pretended it was points just for aesthetic reasons. It is bold to keep it have it a clear coated metal like that. There's just a lineup of all these fantastic cars. Another thing about these events is you get overloaded on amazing cars. You keep walking along, and you see row after row after row of just incredible, neat, fun cars. Each one of them, if parked in a parking lot by itself, you're going to walk over to and strike up a conversation with the owner with. Here is a Model A two-door chop top with the 32 grill and a small block Chevy. Really cool cat. Talking with him, showing off his car. He's sitting here at the finish line of the drags, enjoying the show, enjoying some food. Had a nice chat with him. He, recommended a source for a soft top like that. Some more beautiful Chevy. If anyone knows what this car is, please say so down in the comments. It looks a lot like a 35 or 36 Ford, except the way those headlights are Frenched in like that, and it doesn't. That looks factory, not custom. Also has a pretty sweet Caddy motor in it, Cadillac overhead valve. Whatever it is, it's super clean. It's super cool. I do dig it. Here is a really cool 1960 Ford Starliner. I had to do a Google search to figure out what it is, but very sexy car. I like seeing very interesting and different cars that we normally don't get to see. And this one, of course, really caught my eye. I thought very well done. And here we have a Riviera, and I do really dig these first-gen Rivieras like this one.
I do love me a Riviera.
They're on my short list of cars I'd love to get someday, and a nice clean example would be really awesome. Though we have more than enough in our current collection to keep me busy for the rest of my life. Another shoebox Ford, once again. Another car on my short list of vehicles I'd love to get. Here we have a chop top Merc. Always a very popular custom, always very mean and sleek looking. Very cool car. And a beautiful late 50s Buick, 59 I think, could be early convertible. One of the challenges of filming at any of these events is all of the very nice people who are also there to enjoy the cars, basically getting in the way of filming, and nothing you can do about it. All you can do is try and do your best to film the amazing cars around them. Here is a really amazing, beautifully restored 37 Pontiac. It is, well, I really like these. I like the fact that it isn't all cut up. I do like the customs, and I'm a customizer myself. But finding clean, uncut cars that are fairly original. Obviously, the suspension has been modified. That's how else can you get it on the ground like that? Probably hydraulics or pneumatics. But this one still has the original Buick flathead inline 6. So I think that that's kind of special, kind of neat, that it's running the stock engine and I assume stock transmission. I dig it. And here's a really sweet early 50s Chevy. Any of his cars, I think if it had the original engine and it was a runner, I would probably just get them running as good as I can, as reliable as I can, and then just try and drive the heck out of them. Here is a Model A Roadster with a 32 front grille. And I believe an Oldsmobile V8. It doesn't look like the earlier Cadillac, but I could be mistaken. Please leave a comment down below and let me know just how wrong I am. Always appreciated to getting an education. Here we have the gasser class busy returning back up the return row. Here is the finish line, and each of the drivers is picking up their timing slip from the timing person, and we get a chance to see a lot of these racers up close. Now, we could have walked the pits, but to be quite honest with you, we never quite got around to it. Nice chance to see him up close. The next video, we're going to be covering a lot of the racing more in depth. Here is a interesting looking hot rod. I have no idea what it is. Was originally. It does not have It has a small block Chevy on it and some interesting accoutrement. Kind of an understated rat rod, I think, though I don't know if it's necessarily a rat rod. The one next to it definitely is. Here's a cool Studebaker. These are always fun. Chop top, though. I don't know if they look so good chop top. They're that much of a chop top. Another shoebox Ford. Coupe. Really cool. Here's a really clean shoebox Ford with the V8 in it. 49 if you want to go by the license plate. I don't quite have. I know each year has a different front grille bumper arrangement. That's how you tell them apart, and I don't have them quite memorized. But you know, very clean, nicely restored. I think they make excellent candidates for customizing. And then again, I wouldn't customize one until it was pretty rough and rotten. Anything that could be in this shape should be lovingly maintained and driven and enjoyed. Though something this shiny, you get nervous about people damaging it or scratching it. Here we got a Cadillac, late 40s, early 50s, with, of course, the overhead valve, Cadillac V8, 331 or something along those lines. If someone wants to tell me the year, I'd appreciate it.
99 miles an hour. Malibu, going to take on the Plymouth. Kenny Merlin, here in the right lane, it says on my screen.
Uncut Mercury, uncut Chevy. Take another look at that Mercury. Oh, got a Woody over yonder. Here's another Pontiac. Looks like a late 40s or late 40s. Afraid I'm not so good on the years with these. Very striking color combination. I like it. I also like it's got all the chrome and the trim and everything. In California, and I suspect other places, but kind of tangential with the lowrider community is the bomb community. And the 40s, early 50s with hydraulics, they're known as bombers. And I like them. I enjoy them quite a bit. There's a nice shiny C1 Corvette, 1958. There's all the information on it if you're interested. Go ahead and rewind and pause it. But going back to the bombers, really strong community. Like I said, a kind of a tangent or even a precursor. I think they were around before the lowriders, or they're a form of lowrider, I guess is the other way to look at them. But there's always a really good showing at these events by the bomber community, and enjoy their cars. 56 Chevy with a very interesting green paint job. And here is an unrestored driver Plymouth. 4-door. And it reminded me very much of the one Scott's restoring at Cold War Motors, except his was a 2-door in a 1960, and I think this is a 57. The gentleman just probably said. Okay, Chevy pickup. This is a, I don't know if it's a 1 ton or a 3/4 ton, but it has the 6 in a row ready to tow. 3/4 ton or 1 ton, not sure. It is the 8 lug, it is 3800 if someone wants to tell me. Here is a 69 C10, very similar to mine, with a small block, of course. I think when I first stuck my head in it, I thought maybe it was a big block, but no, it is a small block, which, you know, that's actually a really good combination. Now, this gentleman kind of had the right idea. He kind of just parked right there by the fence, and you got a nice view of the tail end of the strip. Now, I just thought this Cadillac Eldorado, I don't know, it looks like it's right out of Star Trek. I mean, it is so low and mean. It's 59, 58, I don't know, but it is a really, I don't know, I really dig it. It really struck a chord with me. I'm not sure how much of it, if any of it, is custom and how much of it is factory, but really sweet car. And oh my God, look at that bumper. I mean, it's ready to impale someone. It's ready for ramming speed there. That's like 200 pounds of chrome right there on the front. The 56 Chevy 210 post car. I think it's pretty sweet. I think that's really cool. With a 53 Chevy. Here's another. It's a Model A with the 32 grill and a small block Chevy. Almost looks like it's the 232. I think this is a pretty sweet little hot rod. And I think it's. I could use a little bit of paint, I think, and some body work to clean it up. But if you're interested, there you go. It'll be yours for $28,000.
We can tell everyone he mops. If he was married, we couldn't tell his wife because otherwise he'd have to do that at home. So we're not going to mow.
There you go. Big block Chevy in a Model A Ford. 3-window coupe, just the right amount of chop in my opinion. That's a heck of a lot of engine. Doesn't matter which big block version or flavor it is, that's a heck of a lot of engine in that tiny little lightweight car. I bet driving it is an adventure every time. And so here, sitting next to endorsing the Cougar, is a Cadillac limousine on a Suburban chassis. At least I assume a Suburban chassis. Sure, you can do that. And here, like 2 cars over, is a same vintage, maybe not this exact same year, another Cadillac limousine for your reference. And if you're interested, as you can see, the contact information is right there for you to purchase it yourself. If you want to do the same conversion, all you need is a square body Suburban 4x4 to put this lovely beast on. Or just polish this one up and carry the whole kids soccer team to their next game. Well, I guess someone has a sense of humor of sorts. I believe that's supposed to be Osama bin Laden in that casket. You know, because why not? Okay, here's another shoebox. Looks like 49 based upon the grill. And with a 8BA flathead that's suitably zipped up, pepped up. Interesting, that alternator doesn't even look like it doesn't fit there. I guess it blends in a little bit. Though I would have probably made it, instead of chrome, I would have made it dull aluminum like the rest of it. But yeah, like the heads and so forth. But it's a 4-door. Nothing wrong with that. A little more convenient and a lot cheaper. Here we have a, looks like an early example of a Lakester racer. At least that's what I'm taking it to be, a top speed racer. With the aero mod of blocking out the radiator like that. Yeah, we have a 32 grill shell custom hood with a Model T body, roadster body, and their turtle deck. Very cool. 1927, I think they're according to the license plate. Given the size of the exhaust pipe, I think it's a banger in there. Though the 327, maybe it's a small block, but I don't think that would work because it would wear the headers. So, but getting a lot of interesting footage for. Oh, it's a 32. Almost looks like 32 set of rails too. So, I think it's a pretty neat little rig. 28, 29 Model A with, I think, the Cadillac V8, but someone can correct me. Here is that might actually be a 32 Roadster. Not a 32 Roadster, 31 Model A with a small block Ford. Cool Ford pickup. There's a huge number of 40 pickup. Just all of the amazing cars that are there and are available. It's easy to become a little jaded for being so spoiled by the sheer volume of high quality and really exceptionally cool cars that show up at events like this. Here's a first-gen Riviera with nailhead. Should be the 401 because I always put the biggest in the Riv. Do like those things a lot. And I would keep that the drivetrain stock on that and just make it a sweet-ass daily driver. Small block Chevy and this A Roadster with the 32 grill. Here is a Roadster with another small block Chevy. The Tombstone grill, the Model A grill with the suicide front end, the Buick. And it's neat seeing all the families out enjoying this. The variety, I think the small block Chevy is still the king of swaps, mostly because it was the king for so long. I know, according to the internet, all swaps now, or the LS is the swap to do. But going to these events, I find more small block Chevys and even big block Chevys swapped in than I see LS swaps. Now, to be honest with you, the LS swap being kind of an unattractive, hey, inline six in a Mustang, who would have ever thought? The LS motor is a fantastic engine of choice if you're going to make real power and go fast, but it's not a very good looking motor. Really, honestly, the best looking motor, I think, is the flathead Ford. And you can fight me on that one in the comments down below. But if you just want a cheap little bit more power, then makes sense. Small block Chevy, small block Ford. Spend any of the overhead valve V8s if you want to build them. We'll pull more than enough thrills than I think anyone's really interested in experiencing. At shows like this, the LS is not as common as you might expect. Though, to each their own. Little dog going for a ride. Bark, bark. There you go. Tell him. This lineup of pastels, obviously not a coincidence, was just interesting. Big block second generation Camaro. Yikes. I bet this is squirrely as hell. Not as squirrely as a Model A with big block, but still, that's a lot of that's a heck of a lot of motor. The second generation F body is my favorite F body. So if anyone happens to have one, looking for a Firebird, but a Camaro for sure, and needs a good home, go ahead and just give it to me. I'll take it off your hands. Once again, air-cooled VWs here specifically, clearly is the VW Bus Club, the Bus Boys. They're just a neat seeing them all lined up, all these various iterations of them. Any one of these is worth way more than I would consider spending on one of them, but amongst those, who would have ever guessed a sign like that would be in a VW bus? Anyways, yeah, cool to see all the very interesting and eclectic vehicles, restored and unrestored, and patinaed and very detailed, elaborate custom paint jobs. I am not a fan of that target top on mod on that Riviera. Here, like everybody, I do dig these COEs. Everybody wants an arm and a leg for them, but they're really cool. I wouldn't mind having one myself. Is that a Zephyr, maybe? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Now, the gentleman on the ladder there is a professional photographer who is trying to get shots of this Tudor A with the blown Chevy in it. And doing my best to film around him so that I wasn't in his way. However, not everyone was as polite, and he ended up sitting in a position for about 10 minutes while two older gentlemen sat there and discussed the merits of said arrangement. But it is a very eye-catching, beautiful car. I think they must have stretched the frame to get the body set back that far for that whole setup, which definitely an option. I wonder if that's why it's so eye-catching, because the proportions are a little different. It is Z'd up front there, so it does have a custom frame. Here's a 32 three-window coupe. Looks like it's unchopped, but it is lowered. Very cool. I didn't break out any magnets, full fendered, which is not something you see all the time. I kind of like them without the fenders, but it's nice to see them with the fenders, since my opinion seems to be with the majority. I think it's all steel, but you know, I could be wrong on that. Here is a very well done 1940 chop top custom. I think 1940 Ford, if I didn't actually say that already. I think it's beautifully done. I really like it. I think it's the proportions are extremely good. And of course, sitting next to it is this 35 or 36 Ford Coupe Custom. If they chopped the top, they didn't chop a lot, and it's, I think, very well done. Small block Chevy, looking sharp in there. Except the HEI. HEI is always strike me wrong. Here is clearly a custom show car. Here's the big long description of what it is. I think this might be an actual historical one from the early 60s. It's a T-bucket chopped 32 front grille with all sorts of very, very, very custom items on it and features. I think, you know, Big Daddy Roth fingerprints are all over it. Here's another Studebaker, all done up, very racy-like, kind of rough, obviously in process, but still very cool. It's still got the Studebaker drivetrain in it. Studebakers, in their time, their V8s were way ahead of everybody else. They were way ahead of everybody else with overhead valve V8s, and were some of the most powerful for the displacement in their time. They were kind of sort of popular race option, a lot you could do with it. And some of the Oldsmobile parts and Studebaker parts are similar enough that with a little bit of machining, you can take the adjustable rocker arms off of the Studebaker, modify them, and put them on an Oldsmobile. So that was a really popular thing to do. Here's a Plymouth with a small block Chevy. just, it was pretty cool. It's nice. I like all these 30s cars. It's interesting how the 30s cars, many of them resemble. I have a challenge with them looking so similar to the Fords, but of course that was the zeitgeist in design, and everyone was trying to get market share from Ford. The irony being, with a little more style for a little bit more money, they could have easily got the market, and a lot of them did. Here's a great old Chev with the inline six. Again, like I said, I'd take a Chevy with inline six and run it and enjoy it, because they're a great little setup. Now, if I got a body that was kind of rough, missing the drivetrain, I would probably go ahead and turn it into a gasser and drop a small block, a hot small block in it. Dress it up as an early small block, but make it like a 383 or something. Buick, Chev. They sold a lot of Chevys. Here's another one that's all bare metal. That, with the exception of this intricate paint job on top. It is a bold move, in my opinion, to clear over bare metal, because you're inviting a lot of scrutiny on your metalwork, and it takes a very bold metal body worker to bear their sins with clear coated over it, and as a result, it's very striking. And as someone who beats panels as a hobby, my hat's off to anyone this bold. I hope that someday my metalworking is good enough that I could do a very similar arrangement on some of mine. 1926 Buick, 12K or best offer. Small block Chevy in it. Interesting thing is, this vintage 1926 Buicks had overhead valve inline sixes. Another gorgeous Pontiac. Oh wow, nice Tri-Fi Pontiac. I think I like the BOP Tri-Fis more than the Chevy Tri-Fis, and I think I would love to have something like this. And another one on my short list of vehicles that I would like, though I have no room for in my collection. '62 Lincoln Continental, not a hard top because it's a post car. You can see the posts there. Beautiful, nice custom paint job. Here we got a string of traditional California lowriders. They don't have they've got a very high quality paint job on them, but they don't have the intricate paint job that became common on lowriders starting in the 60s and 70s. So that's even more traditional. Here's an F100. El Camino. Looks like a 59. Very cool. Here is a Thunderbird with nice custom paint job. Dig it, very well done. Got the lace there up top, always pretty, especially with that metal flake. I think that's a nice pearl paint job. That's very beautiful, very well done. I do appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and just go through a whole bunch of more neat cars. We're going to spend a lot of time on all the ones that obviously catch our eyes, and we might skip past a few things that we've seen or were not necessarily or exactly what our strike our fancy or kind of I don't know how to describe it, but lots of good, fun, clean times. And I hope you enjoy the soundtrack that going with it. It's hard to comment on every single car we look at since we're knowledgeable, but can't exactly comment on everything. Once again, any one of these cars in a parking lot is going to be a oh shoot, you want to stop and appreciate it. anywhere you go, and the fact that so many of them came out to this event to be in one parking lot all at once, of course, is a massive sensory overload for the car lovers in our lives, and probably in yours. So please enjoy. are now coming up on the 1 hour mark. Actually, I think we've already passed it. And as huge as the show is, and we're just giving you a fraction of it. You, generally speaking, are favorites, and you can generally tell what those are because how much time we spend on them. But I want to thank you if you've made it this far. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe. Part 2 of this video will be the racing. I probably will not make it as long, but I will have some of the racing action, including some pretty awesome wheel stand action. And I hope to catch you on the next one. And going out on this amazing 49 Merc Custom with this incredible paint job. I hope you have a amazing day. Until next time.